in the Peace Corps. I did that right after undergrad, and I was living in a wetland village in Guyana. As I was coming up on the end of that time, I'd been doing a bunch of environmental education when I was there, and I knew I wanted to come back and work in higher ed. I'd also been reading a lot about climate change at the time, and so I was looking for a way to kind of merge my interests in wetlands that I developed when I was in Peace Corps and climate change. And that brought me to the field I'm in now, which is looking at how the natural world around us is interacting with the atmosphere and breathing in and out greenhouse gases all the time. As far as coming to ESF, as I was finishing up my PhD, I saw an ad for ESF. I'd never heard of it before, but I came up here and I interviewed for the job and fell in love with the place. I really liked the culture, that everybody has something to do with the environment here, and I could see that the students really cared a lot about the things that they were learning about when they're here. And I could see that I was going to get to not only use the research part of my training, but also that I would get to embrace teaching as much as I wanted to as well. And so that was a big draw for ESF for me. I teach about 4 classes at ESF. So all our sophomore environmental engineering students come through my class, Ecological Engineering, which is looking at how engineers can create new ecosystems, or maybe use the ones that we have in order to perform ecosystem services for us, which is things that nature can do for us and that nature can benefit from our actions as well. And then I teach a handful of graduate classes. One of them is teaching students how to write and use computer models in order to predict any number of ecological processes. Another is teaching students how to take sensors and then put them into ruggedized outdoor containers and have them collect data for a really long time and then pull it back to the lab for analysis. The course I'm currently working on developing is an international course, which is called Ecological Engineering in the Tropics, which takes the same principles of ecological engineering, but looks at them in a foreign destination. I like to give the students a lot of latitude and let them pursue their own interests. If they're a graduate student, kind of let them craft their project around what their professional interests are. Hopefully what they're doing in the class, they can see parallels between the new things that I'm trying to teach them as well as what they need to be working on for their graduate degrees as well. I find there's a lot of room for creativity in projects and a lot of room for independent exploration. Right now we have a few projects that are going on. One of them is looking at management decisions for wetlands. So wetlands get managed for water level all the time, and one of the things that they're really trying to do is they're trying to encourage waterfowl production. When they wet and re-dry the wetlands, that has pretty big climate implications, because if the wetland is flooded, then it will breathe out a lot of methane, and if it's dry, it'll breathe out CO2. So we're trying to provide the framework so that they can optimize for waterfowl production, but also for climatological services from their wetlands as well. We are also looking at the climatological effects along the Hudson and looking at how changes in sea level rise and tidal domains across the Hudson estuary are going to affect methane emissions and carbon dioxide uptake by plants throughout the wetland there. Whenever students are coming here to look at ESF, I've got a few things I like to tell them are really unique about ESF, and the top thing is the students that they're going to be around. What I always tell people is that when you go to ESF, the people that you're going to be surrounded by, those are your people, and everybody here has some interest in environmentalism, or at least the environment itself. Being in an environmental engineering program, I often tell incoming students that a lot of other schools you would go and you'd study civil and environmental engineering, where most of your time would be spent on the civil engineering, and that's very different here, where everything at ESF has that center around the environment. And so if that's the part that gets you out of bed in the morning and that's what you're passionate about, you're going to be able to find that here at ESF in a way that other schools just aren't able to serve. And I think that's really unique about ESF.